Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you all here. Please go ahead in the chat box. Let me know where are you dialing in from. Also, those of you that are comfortable putting on your cameras, please do. It's always lovely speaking to faces. I feed off your energy as well. Thank you, Vaughn. Nice to see you, Vaughn. Yeah, it's always lovely feeding off energy as well. Sometimes I run masterclasses for hundreds of people and I feel like I'm speaking to myself, which is often what happens. But when I run a masterclass and I know these people on the other side. So welcome to everyone. Excited that you're here. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes, but let me know, where are you dialing in from? Please be comfortable to put on those cameras as well. And while we wait for some people to come into the room, I want to share, well done for showing up. I had 184 people register for this evening. Isn't that incredible? And now 15 people in the room. So well done for you to showing up, committing to yourself as well. So we've got Talent from Cape Town. Hello, Masana from Johannesburg. Bernadine from Prieska. Nice to see you there. Jackie from Klerksdorp. Wonderful. Seeing quite a few other people coming in. Janine Jacobs from SRG Security. Hi, Janine. Nice to see you again. But yes, welcome. Go ahead, let me know. Vaughn from Hillcrest, fabulous. Where are you dialing in from? And please feel free to put on those cameras. So while we wait for a few more people to come into the room as well, what I am going to ask you to do is, for the next 90 minutes, gift yourself this time. Close those email browsers, close your phones. If you think you can play Candy Crush and multitask, no, you can't. So gift yourself this time. See that you can learn one thing new. But so often people go, well, I'll just kind of listen with one ear. Do you know, even if you give me 100%, you're only going to hear 40% of what I say. Isn't that quite scary? Because so often we've got this voice in our head going, oh, I'm hungry. Maybe I should get some tea. What's happening? Oh, that happened to me. And we go into our own storytelling zone. So even if you're giving me 100%, you're only going to hear 40% of what I say. So highly encourage you, give me your full attention. Got some more people. Thank you. Musa from Durban, Tracy from East London, Joyce from Pretoria, Puti from Pretoria. Fabulous. Welcome, welcome to everyone as well. Quite a lot of people have just entered the room. Welcome to everyone. Please feel free to put your camera on and let me know where you are dialing in from as well. One of the things that I will be doing, it's a 90-minute masterclass. At the end of this evening's masterclass, as a thank you for you for staying all the way to the end, I will be sending you a gift, which is a consolidation of the notes from today. But I am going to require a couple of things. Number one, your email address. So all of you would have registered, yet sometimes you registered under a different name that's showing up on Zoom, or you're on somebody else's link. If I can ask you in the chat box, you're either welcome to share it directly to me or in the chat box to all. It's up to you. Please, can I ask you to go ahead, drop your email address, so that as soon as I finish my masterclass this evening, one of my time-saving tools, I can just go in straight away, get my attendance register, tag you because I've got your addresses. It just makes it so much easier as well. And that way, simplified, I can share your gift with you. So please make sure, if you're not comfortable dropping your email address, type in your full name, first name and surname that you logged in with, or you registered on, and that way I can track you that way too. So welcome to everyone. Very excited to have you here. Thank you. I see those email addresses coming through. I will be doing a live Q&A at the end, so keep those questions that you have as well, that I can help you there. But I will also be answering questions in between. Those that have worked with me before know that the way I train is very interactive, even my masterclasses. So keep those fingers out, keep them on the keyboard, keep them nice and warm so we can have some fun this evening. Fabulous. Love all those email addresses coming through. Fantastic. Still quite a few people coming into the waiting room, but I'm going to dive straight in. So how many of you feel like you lived the perfect balanced life. That while you are at work, you can achieve all your goals. So when you get home, you can have quality time with your family, your friends, even yourself. Days off you can spend on the golf course, or pampered days at the spa. How about long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day? Or dinner dates with your partner? Or have you planned that trip to the Maldives? Does this not just sound like the perfect life? Or is it just a dream? So often when I'm working with different clients, different courses, different industries, so many people say to me, Nikki, we lack work-life balance. We feel like we're always failing. Well, self-disclosure, I haven't mastered balance. But the tools that I've learned in 2019 and applied in my life, the simplified tools that I share with you, help you to remind you of balance or bring balance back into your life. Because the truth is, can balance be mastered? Well, think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Let me know in the chat box. When do you think balance is the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Yay, Cornell says the middle, Jenny all the way, Janine beginning. Jenny spot on. Every step of the way, right? So every step of the way is something that we need to focus on with our balance. Now, this is for you. If you want more work-life balance, you're actually exhausted from doing it all alone. This evening, this is also for you. If you're sometimes working with team members, you need to bring in some more and you don't know how to recruit the perfect team member. This is also for you. If you've been managing your team, but not leading your team, irrespective of their personalities, to get your desired result. This is also for you. If you delegate, and again, don't always achieve those results. And this is also for you. If you struggle with handling conflict and don't always walk away with a win-win. So let me know in the chat box, which one resonates the most with you? You can have more than one. Is it A, you'd love more work-life balance? B, understand how to recruit the right person or know what needs doing to have the best person in your team? C, transform from managing to leading your team irrespective of their personalities? D, learn how to delegate to get a win-win result? Or E, learn how to handle conflict for a win-win? Let me know which are the most important for you. So Vaughan says all of these 5. Thanks, Vaughan. Lorinda says all. Okay, which ones resonate? A and E. Thank you, Jackie. Mostly all of them. Talent says all. B, C, D, and E. Bernadine says E. Masana says C. Thank you. I love it that the chat box is lighting up. So let me ask you and everyone that's in the room this evening, are you currently in a leadership position? Just let me know, yes or no. Are you in a leadership position? Okay, lots of yeses coming through. And even if you're not in a leadership position and you intend to get there, I have some amazing stories I can share with you of people that I've worked with, just like you, Talent, that have grown into this leadership role simply by applying these tools. So my second question is, did you study for your current leadership position or were you internally promoted? If you're internally promoted, you're welcome just to drop an IP. Did you study or were you internally promoted for your position? Okay, Jackie, IP. So there we go, lots of internally promoted. And this is quite common of what we pick up specifically in South Africa. When I worked abroad and I applied for a role overseas, they actually very rarely hire somebody in a management position without a degree. Yet in South Africa, we quite often identify shining stars. We do a lot of internal promotion, internal studying, internal investing into our team, which is a great thing within South Africa. But sometimes what happens is we grow into this position and we're not always taught the right tools to lead our team. So it's not your fault that you were internally promoted because somebody saw the shining star in you that's made you who you are and grown you into a leader. It's also not your fault that quite often you're putting out fires. Sometimes the fires that you lit. It's also not your fault that you don't know how to recruit or understand the recruitment process to get the best person to work with you. Sometimes we just inherit our team and we don't know anything different. It's also not your fault that no one's taught you the tools of how to work with different personalities so that you can transform your management style into a leadership style. And it's not your fault that you didn't learn the 6-step process on delegating effectively or handling conflict. It's so often we're not taught a simplified tool. I've got a 4-step tool on how to handle conflict, always giving you a win-win. And often being internally promoted or sometimes even trained, but taught the what and not the how, we often land up compromising our work-life balance. How many of you can relate? When I think about that trip to the Maldives, my goal for everyone that I work with is that if you received a phone call and said, impromptu, Vaughan, Ben, Bernadine, Jenica, you can catch a flight Friday, you've won a trip 2 weeks to the Maldives on 2 conditions. You leave your cell phone behind, you leave your laptop behind, and your business, your position will run as well as it's running now. Could you get on the plane? Now, majority of people say to me, no. Well, my goal for you, learning these simplified tools, sharing them with your team, is that you could say yes. So I want to say the tools I'm going to share with you is going to end in the next 90 minutes. I would love to wave my magic wand and go whoosh, 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 but share some simplified tools that can help you today. Because I get this. Who am I? My name's Nikki. I'm a leadership extraordinaire. I'm a public speaker strategist and a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach. And I started working at the young age of 15. I fell in love with working in hospitality. At the age of 18, after working every school holiday, public holidays, and weekends, at the age of 18, they offered me a job as an assistant manager. But 6 months later, my parents had left to go sailing, thinking they were going on holiday, but they'd actually packed up and moved overseas. I decided to join them on their yacht and fell in love with the Caribbean. I spent 3 years traveling before I got an assistant management role at a small restaurant in the Caribbean called Capriccio de Mare. When I had been there for 3 months, I was the longest manager that my dictatorial, aggressive owner had ever lasted. Everybody just walked off the job, and I lasted 3.5 years. I learned tools on how to work with different cultures, different nationalities, and more importantly, a very dictatorial boss. But after 3.5 years, I've grown from assistant manager, general manager, and then into the senior manager, then into general manager. I decided to try my leadership style elsewhere, where I joined this beautiful restaurant across the bay that I worked at for 4.5 years. Again, when I started with this restaurant, it was an 80-seater restaurant. We never even filled up the restaurant every evening. But with the leadership skills that I'd learned and really strived and focused on customer service, we managed to extend our restaurant to a 120-seater and often did double seatings. This gave me so much opportunity to learn different nationalities and cultures. But when I returned back to South Africa, 2004, with my Caribbean souvenir on my hip, I didn't want to bring back a t-shirt, so I brought back a little baby. And I came back and I joined the Woolworths coffee shops run by Tribeca. At that stage, end of 2004, 2005, we only had 32 restaurants nationally. And over the 14 years I worked there, we grew to over 150 restaurants. When I started, 452 staff. When I left, over 2,500 staff. And the one thing that I've always done is love to learn as much as I could. So I would say yes when I was offered the training position, and yes to the regional management position, and yes to operations manager, and yes to working extra long hours, and yes to just taking and embracing this growth opportunity. But often I grew to be exhausted. And sometimes I just felt like I was on this hamster wheel going around and around and around. And I knew something had to change. I went to my boss and I said, with all my expertise, I still need to be better. Please, can I go to as many courses as possible? Please, can I get out there and learn? I was then promoted to customer service. I was also training leadership, training recruitment, training so many different aspects of the business. And I was very blessed that he allowed me to sign up to as many courses as I could, as long as I brought all the tools back, put it into application, wrote training manuals, and trained. And specifically, this quote is what pops up for me. The 3 C's of life: choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. And this is the importance of having that growth mindset. I'm sure if I asked a lot of people in this room, how many years expertise do you have? We can range from nothing to 40 at least per person. And that means consolidated 27 people in the room plus myself, or 27 including me. We'd probably be sitting with a good few 100 years information right here. And yet, it's always about coming in and seeing what's that one new thing that I can learn. I started discovering simplified tools. Personally, I love to be able to do things easier, not harder, smarter, and just working with simplified tools. And as I started creating all our training content, everything I created was between 4 tools for 4 steps, 5 steps, or 6 steps for everything. So just helped you when something happened for conflict, 4-step tool. Delegation, 6-step tool. Handling difficult customers, 6-step tool. And that's still the way I like to train and coach today. This helped me grow into the National Customer Service Head. When I left Woolworths for the last 10 years, I was overseeing 8 regional managers. There were over 300 managers and 2,500 staff. I was also head of leadership and recruiting. And these are some of the tools I'm going to share with you today. But after 29 years in hospitality, I decided couldn't do another 29 years. So I joined the real estate sector as a team leader for a real estate company. My role, training and recruitment. 16 months into the position, our entire leadership team got retrenched 2 days before the president put the country in lockdown. So that's when I was like, well, with all my tools that I've learned, let me go ahead and start my own training company, the Winning Attitude Skills Training, which turned 5 last year. So saying that, I am still constantly seeing how can I learn, how can I grow, and how can I become the better version of myself. My beautiful Caribbean souvenir in the top right-hand corner, my lovely single, happy that he was a single daddy, I was a single mommy, merged together, and now we've got this beautiful family that are so incredibly supportive of my business and my constant growth mindset of consistently still learning. So I want to welcome everyone here this evening. Welcome to Managers' Most Common Mistakes. When I share these mistakes, these are my mistakes that I made, overcame, developed training to help you not have to make the same mistake. You're welcome. But there's an elephant in the room. I cannot share the last 32 years expertise or 31 years expertise as a leadership in 90 minutes. But I want to give you as much knowledge as I can. But I would also love the opportunity, with your permission, this evening, I will ask for permission first, to share more information with you about my powerful leadership transformation. But that's after I've given you tons of value if you want to hear more. Also, as I shared, for those of you that came in a little bit later, welcome. I will, if you stay till the end this evening, I'll be doing an attendance register and sending you off an email with the gift at the end of today's session. Please do make sure I've got your email address, drop it in the chat box as well. It just makes it so much easier at the end for tagging and specifically making sure I tag the right person. I had 184 people sign up this evening. I think I said 184. Sign up this evening, only 27 in the room, and sometimes we have the same name. So I just want to make sure I tag the correct person. For those of you that haven't seen me before or haven't worked with me before, at the end of this evening, go and just type into Google The Winning Attitude or Nikki Abraham. Go and see what other people have said about me. Same as my Facebook reviews as well. I always love to ask people to share the difference that I have made in their life simply by sharing the tools that they've applied. So please feel free to go and research, find out more about me as well. So let's dive in. What is the difference between a manager and a leader? Now, firstly, a manager is somebody that stands in front of their team, give them a direct instruction. And when they walk away and nothing happens, you're simply just taking a walk. A leader can give a direct instruction, and a leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. And that's simply the difference. A leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. That means the team buys into what you're saying. They respect what you are saying. And that is the difference between the two. So if I say, like, we're not alone here, how many of us struggle with this? And so many people internally promoted, and yet I've also worked and coached so many different industries, so many people that have studied, but even with the training, they weren't always taught the how to apply this training as well. So we also don't realize how much this is costing us when we don't know these tools. It's costing us time, energy, trust, and often our really good staff members. Well, I want to share with you today with the challenges that we've gone through. They're real, but they are not permanent. So let me know in the chat box, are you in? Are you in? All right, so I'm going to ask you, Notutuka, if you can, Kumalo, if you can please keep that question for the end. Great question, thank you. Are you in? Yes, 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 fabulous. We should have 26 answers in the chat box because I'm here. I am in, fantastic. I love the interaction, love the vibe, fabulous. Thank you so much. Now, firstly, stepping into a leadership role. And in fact, I say this for anyone in life. I mean, my company is The Winning Attitude. It's all about your mindset and your attitude. It's about choosing your attitude every single day. But specifically, if you have the luxury to lead a team, it's about constantly focusing on a positive mindset, a positive attitude, because that is what trickles down. Think about back at school. What was your favorite subject? Have you narrowed it down to one? how was that teacher? Most of us can correlate our favorite subject to one of our favorite teachers or one of our favorite bosses because we like their attitude and their mindset. And that's the most important. So it's so imperative as a leader. It's a privilege to lead a team. And it starts with you having a positive mindset and attitude. But today I'm going to speak about a couple of managers' most common mistakes that we find. And one of the biggest ones, and it's given such a little attention, is poor hiring decisions. So let me know in the chat box, are you responsible for recruitment? Are you responsible for recruitment? Okay, Jackie says no, yes, no, yes. Okay, yes, I feel like I'm playing a paddle game. No, yes, no, yes. All right, so a little bit about 50-50. Thank you. And my next question is, are you, or do you know how to, those of you that said yes, do you know how to follow a recruitment process? Now, often what happens there when it comes to recruitment, so many of you said no, yet so many of you also said yes. I know during my 14 years of recruiting at Woolworths, at the beginning, I had no clue what I was doing. I was hiring people that were just like me, bubbly, fun, and motivational, but often not very hardworking. I was hiring people I liked and not necessarily the right person for the right role. And as I started studying recruitment, as I started putting it into application, the people that I hired just became better and better. But what I also learned over the years of working in a few different companies is often we start a new job and we just have to inherit a complete team. And now you just need to lead with perfection. But how many of us don't even understand different personalities? The second thing is we don't even know if we have the right person in the right spot. So if you're not responsible for recruitment, very important that you step up, learn how to recruit, but also say, I want to be part of the recruitment exercise. I want to be part of who's going to join my team. Because sometimes what happens, you put somebody in HR doing the interviews and go, there we go, there's a new staff member for you. You should have a part in who is going to work in your team, a deciding factor. So I actually have a recruiting talent course, which is incredibly detailed on how to recruit talent. Because sometimes you need to be clear about who you want, what talent you need, and then how to source that talent. Remember, it's not just us placing advertisements and people applying. Talent is constantly looking for other talent as well. So it's how do we go and source applicants? Then identifying what personality do we need for the role and how do we word those advertisements to attract the right personality. From there, screening CVs. I can tell you horror stories that I've had through screening CVs. And I share with you the things to identify to prevent the mishire. To the pre-interview process, which saves 75% of your time, because that way you're weaning out those that are not going to be part of your team or not going to even make it through to the next level. To the interview process, I actually share over 150 questions, not that you're going to use them all. You can pick the questions you want to use. After the interview process, how to close the interview, and then reference checks as well. This alone is a 7-hour jam-packed training session of value. Because if you can learn these simplified tools to shift the way you recruit, wouldn't that already make your life as a leader so much easier? Because how often do we not get involved in recruiting, or we just inherit a team that's simply just average? Well, what is the cost of doing nothing with those that are average? If we think about that, keeping the wrong person in the wrong role, somebody that's consistently making mistakes, so let's just say average 16 hours per month, potentially 20,000 Rand salary, just think about the loss of time in turnover and errors. And if you spent 4 hours per week fixing someone else's mistakes, it's 208 hours in a year, which is over 50,000 Rand in wasted time. And that doesn't even include your time. That's just keeping the wrong person in the wrong role. So what is the cost of leading without clarity, confidence, and connection? Well, you're going to have loss of productivity and profitability. And then you can also see how is that impacting the rest of the team. So what's staying the same actually costing you? About share, like going, if I just keep doing what I'm doing that's not working, how much is that costing you? The difference it takes to learn these simplified skills, it's not just about time, because we know recruiting takes time, but it also takes energy training the wrong person in the wrong role. So let's just focus on training the right person in the right role, because that alone will improve your team morale. And just think, how many of you have been internally promoted? You don't want to fall out of love of the role that you've worked so hard to earn. What we need to start focusing here, specifically in a leadership role, is making sure you have clear minimum standards. Job responsibility agreements, or other people call them job descriptions, but setting your clear minimum standard. Often what happens, I need a new staff member, my minimum standards here, I interview 5 people, they're all here. Because there's no other CVs, I take the best of the 5. But now I spend 6 months training this person just to get to my minimum standard. For them, they've had 100% growth. For me, I'm only just getting started. How many of us hire square pegs and put them in round holes? How many of us just hire someone because there's just no one out there good enough? Or how many of us go, stop, let me go find my talent? One of my clients who grew from a manager, she grew into a leadership role where she was allowed to recruit 9 staff members before she was promoted to the director of a company. She found all her talent on Twitter. I've never thought about looking on Twitter. So don't just go, there's no one out there. Where are you looking? Because talent is also looking for you. So how would this be able to improve your leadership skills? Having the right team. Could you see that if you have the right team, you can lead them? And this is exactly what you deserve, to have the right person in the right place at the right time. So when it comes to the second of these mistakes, of managers' most common mistakes, it's again identifying the right person in the right place at the right time. And yet we have so many different personalities that we work with. So how do we understand our personality so we can lead our team irrespective of their personalities? Now, I use the DISC profile, and I use this in every single course I train, because understanding the DISC profile is life-changing in business, in communication, in your relationships, in leading your team. So for those of you that have done DISC before, fabulous. It's one of these sessions you can do over and over and over again, because you'll always learn something new. Some people do the colors, other people talk about the birds. But when we talk about DISC profile, when somebody's dominant and formal, falls under the top left-hand side, which stands for D for DISC or direct. This kind of personality is very much of, it can come across quite arrogant. They're fast and aggressive. They're very much challenged by the bottom line. They're motivated to get things and win a prize. If there's like something or a target out there, they're the ones that are going to be going for it. They often can come across quite curt, quite short, specifically because they're focused and they are result driven. Now, somebody on the top right-hand side, which is dominant and informal, the high I personality, otherwise known as yellow, they're motivated by flattery, They love to be loved. They're the positive party animal of the office, full of motivation and bubbles. They love to be surrounded by people, very talkative and energetic, but sometimes can be quite manipulative and dramatic. Now, your DIs, your dominant personalities, just going into conflict resolution, DIs have no problem handling conflict. I mean, if you want to fight, you'll get a fight, but they'll do everything in their power to win the fight. But that's just how a DI is wired, very comfortable with their communication. Bottom right-hand side, we have the informal easygoing, which is S for steady, your green personality. They are peacemakers or peacekeepers. Excellent listeners. Never like to say no. So they'll do anything in their power to help everyone else, often compromising their experience to achieve their goals because they don't like to be disliked. And bottom left-hand corner, the C personality, C for compliant, which is easygoing and formal, also known as analytical. They're motivated by accuracy. They are very numbers-driven, figure-orientated, and really making sure things are done correctly. So let me ask you, which one here resonated the most for you? D, direct, I, influential, S for steady, or C for compliant? Let me know in the chat box. Okay, we've got a C, S, D, D, C, S, S, C. So again, it's not about putting someone in a box because sometimes we can often have one or two personalities. Also, we can be very different at work to who we are at home. But just for all those Ds out there. So as a high D myself in the operations side of it, I often in a training room, I'm a high I, positive, happy, motivated. That's what I need to do. But I'm going to take you back to when I worked at Woolworths. If I walked into a coffee shop and I needed the floor swept, a D to a D can say, please go sweep the floor. And straight away, Tracy will go and sweep the floor. To a high I, if I use the same tone and I say, please go sweep the floor. And Mr. Influential there goes, Did your mother not teach you please or thank you? That's not the way you talk to people. I can say, Vaughan, please go sweep the floor, and Vaughan will go sweep the floor. But just like the little tear would be going, shoof, that was quite hard. And when I can go, Masana, go sweep the floor, and you go, which floor would you like me to sweep? Do you want me to sweep from the front to the back or the left to the right? Which broom should I use? How much time do I have? They want all the details. So as a leader, I need to, number one, understand my personality and how do I shift my communication with my team's personality to get the desired result. So D to D, please go sweep the floor. A D to an I, motivated by flattery. Give them a compliment. They will quite happily go sweep the floor. A D to an S, just soften your tone a little. Please, can you go sweep the floor? A D to a C, please going to ask you to sweep the kitchen floor. You've got 5 minutes. Use the red broom and sweep from the front to the back. Boom! Everything answered. Sounds simple, but it's taking this tool and making it work for you. Again, this is a 2-hour training session alone where you get to understand your personality, then your team's personality, and how does the right team and their personality complement each other to be the best in your business. When I do this training session, I will start with this picture and end with this picture. But I work so closely with personality profiling that I can look at these 6 people and say, all of them just got the exact same news, but all of them have different personalities. And just the way they're reacting, from arms in the air to on the floor to their body language to what they're wearing, I can tell you exactly what personality, my opinion, thinks they are. And that's what you will be able to do as well. So if we're looking at personalities, how would you be able to improve your leadership skills once you understand each staff member? I remember saying to my boss in the Caribbean, my one boss, and I said to him, sure, you know, running a restaurant is so easy, but the staff, oh, they're hard work. And that's what he said. Leadership, running operations is easy, but how you lead your team will define how good you are in your role. Very profound. The third of managers' most common mistakes is work-life balance. How many of us just want more time? So I love using the 80-20% principle, specifically on time, but also in communication. Let's just focus right on time. It's about taking that 20% that matters to give you 80% of the result. And in order for us to have that clear, intentional practice of a leader, it's been defining having your personal and professional goals. A lot of leaders don't have goals, or if they have goals, they don't write them down or share them with others or even with their team. They don't hold their team accountable to the goals they have. And this is important to be so clear about your goals. The second thing is know what your big rocks are. I'm going to challenge you tomorrow. Print out your job description or your job responsibility agreement. Most of them would be a good few pages. Pick up a highlighter and highlight the 20% that no one else in the company can do. That is your expertise that you are hired to do just that. Yes, your job will consist of everything. But what was your exact expertise? And that's your 20% you focus on. That if that doesn't happen, your position wouldn't exist. Or potentially you could be replaced. And that's where you start. Focusing on your 20% every single day that can give you 80% of your result. Once that 20% is done, you break that down saying, well, 1, 2, 3, most important thing needs to get done today. Then what can I delegate and what do I then need to focus on from my 80% list? Because sometimes we look at our job responsibility and we go, oh, there's so much to do. Let me just choose what I love. And we don't always do what we are hired to do. I mean, how often do you finish at the end of the day and go, oh, that was such a busy day. I'm so tired. Yet, there's a massive difference between being busy and productive. My previous director at Woolworths, when I used to have to check into him and I'd phone him and go, wow, I had such a busy day today. And he often used to say to me, that's great. What value did you add to my company today? And it was such a profound question. I've now been working for myself for 5 years, and I still ask myself that every day. What value did I add to my company today? And then focus on that. So this is the importance of focusing on the value, focusing on the 20%. So we can make sure we have a success list. Because often we all have these long, tedious to-do lists that consist of everything we need to do. And because it's on the list, we feel like we have to do it, which is a time waster. And sometimes, how often do we come to that list just to tick it off? See, we haven't written it down. So we quickly write it down just to tick it off. I mean, I've been guilty of that. It's really about focusing on that 20%. The success lists that are short. It gives you purposely intentional focus to achieve, to get extraordinary results, which will help you to succeed. Now, I use a tool. I know Vaughn's seen this tool. I've used it on one of my other programs as well. It's taking our goals and breaking it into something called a 4-1-1. I coach a lot of clients. I do accountability coaching. I've got masterminds. I work with all my clients using this particular tool. Taken from the book, The 4-1-1. I've just made an electronic version. What we do is we set our goals for the year, and it's copy and pasted because our goals don't change. Our behavior does. We then break it down into our monthly goals and then weekly goals. 4-1-1, 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks. And this is only for our success list, not for everything we have to do. It's to help us stay clear and streamlined. And from here, once we've entered our goals for the week, we then time block it. Let me know in the chat box who time blocks or knows what time blocking is. Who time blocks or knows what time blocking is? Okay, Lorinda says no. Yes, Vaughan. For Nelson, I recently tried time blocking. It helps with focus. I know what it is, but I don't use it. No, not quite certain. No. All right. So time blocking is about, firstly, being so clear on your goals of what needs doing. Focusing on that success list. That actually, if you don't do that first, nothing else matters. Because that's what happens when we become so busy that we're not focusing on adding value or being productive. So every client I work with, we work on the 411, focusing on your goals, focusing on the most important things weekly, and then we hold you accountable weekly to help you achieve it. When we time block it, what we need to do as a leader is time block time for working in your business and time block time for working on your business, because it's important for you to have time to learn, for growth, for strategies, for how can you do things bigger and differently. So you're going to spend time in your business doing your 20% and time on your business focusing on how you're going to take your job to the next role. So this is just an example of my calendar for 1 week as an example. And I will time block. My calendar is perfectly time blocked like this every single week. I am so to the minute on my calendar. I wasn't like this 10 years ago, but it's helped me with the simplified tools, stay on track. It's also helped me within 3 years, 10x my business. It's helped me be streamlined and focused. And what I do when it comes to color coding, I color code dark green when I'm working in my business and getting paid. I color code light green when I'm working on my business for potential future clients. I then color code when I'm working on my goals. And I also color code my personal goals. And that's important for me to bring that work-life balance. So it's not something you just do once. It's something you do consistently every single day. And this quote is profound in helping me stay on track. What's the one thing you can do such by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary? So if you can screenshot that, keep that, read that over and over and over. So anytime you're going, oh my gosh, there's so much I need to do, stop. What's the one thing I can do right here, right now? Such by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary. And that's the goal of thinking, what could I do with more time? Wouldn't it be amazing to have more work-life balance? Take that trip to the Maldives. So the third of managers, fourth of managers' most common mistakes is communication. In fact, I use communication in every single one of my modules. The difference between a manager and a leader, they have the ability to communicate to their team, to inspire them to achieve a common goal. And this starts off with effective communication. When you learn how to speak with effective communication, it can improve your day-to-day conversations. So I always go upwards with your stakeholders, sideways with your team, and downwards with your entire team. It will improve your relationships professionally, personally, with family. It will give you confidence to communicate. It will help you grow your business. It will improve your sales. It will help you with day-to-day negotiations. It will make a difference with you as a leader. And learning the art of speaking clearly and concisely will change your life. When I started training in 2005, I wrote 5 of my training manuals and often stood in front of groups of up to 80, training them in different styles of hospitality. But training and speaking, I learned there is so much more growth that I could do. 2021, I signed up for 2 public speaking courses, one locally, one internationally. I then became a co-coach for 2 years in a public speaking course before I launched my own public speaking course last year. And recognizing not everybody wants to do a public speaking or be on stage without notes, doing a 7-minute, 30-minute keynote presentation. So many people just wanted to do it to improve their confidence and their sales. I launched the second program called Speak with Impact for Sales. The difference it's made to different people and all different industries is profound, simply by learning to speak clearly and concisely with impact. And that alone gives you confidence. So learning the art of speaking, and this could be one-to-one or to your entire team, is incredible. I recently had a lady on my course. She owns a pharmacy in the Eastern Cape. She has a team of 80 staff members, and she goes, Nikki, I've never had a staff meeting. There's no way. She wasn't even here for leadership. She was here for public speaking. But after a couple of sessions learning communication, she now comfortably hosts staff meetings because she's learned the art to communicate effectively, clearly, concisely, with confidence. And you might find some of you are like, I'm fine. I don't need speaking skills. But how often do you go on a washing machine spin cycle, going round and round and round, not landing your point, spitting words out endlessly, and sometimes completely confusing the staff? And this is the importance of the art of communication, learning to speak clearly and concisely. These are the tools that I brought into my leadership course because I've learned the impact it's made in my business and in everyone I've trained or coached. I'm comfortable now. I speak on stages. I'm a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach. I've now spoken on stages a couple of times to over 5,000 people, simply using these tools to speak clearly, concisely, with impact. So how could you improve your communication to help you lead your team? Because often when I think about managers' most common mistakes, it all comes down to being misunderstood or misheard. And this is the simplest tool that can help you. So, I mean, this course is not just about leadership. It's going to shift the way your team sees you, how they hear you, and more importantly, you're inspiring them to be accountable, just like you. So the 5th of the most common mistakes, and this is the last one I'm going to touch on. In fact, Friday, I'm actually offering a 90-minute session specifically for this particular session, 297 Rand. It is a giveaway. It's valued at 2,000 Rand, but specifically on how to focus on effective delegation to give you your desired results. So what happens if you don't or you can't delegate? Let me know. I want to make sure you're still here. Let me know what happens if you don't or you can't delegate. Tell me your story. You do all the work. Exactly. Right? Burnout. Okay. End up doing myself and being exhausted. Exactly that. Thank you, Jenny and Ben and Dr. Tuku. Thank you for that. Overworked. Thank you. Absolutely. So we need to look at the importance of delegation. And so many people say to me, well, I don't like to delegate because I feel like I'm being bossy, or I can't delegate because it's just easier to do it myself. I just want to share a simplified thing today. If you're stuck delegating because you want to be liked, or you feel like you're giving other people your work to do, shift your mindset of every time I delegate, I'm empowering someone else to learn something they didn't know. And that's what happens to get internal promotions, because you're learning something you didn't know. So the benefit is you're empowering somebody to learn what they didn't know, And that way, it's freeing you up to give you more time to do what you need to do. And there's some essential criteria to delegation. Firstly, what's the urgency of the matter? Do you have time to do that? And next thing, do you have the right person to delegate to? Just taking it back 2 steps to recruitment. Anytime I recruit someone, I want to see their potential and where would they be in 3 months or 6 months. So I'm always recruiting somebody that I can promote within 3 months to 6 months. If somebody comes in and says, I just want a job, any job, I'm not interested. I want somebody with that drive that I can see them with growth in the company. And that's also what's going to help you with effective delegation. Sometimes we just land up doing it ourselves. So I think Jenny said that there. That's reverse delegation, where we delegate and next thing we're just doing it. We need to figure out exactly why that's happening. And there's a good couple of reasons. So again, it's a 6-step simplified tool. And it all comes down to communication. So I will share with you the link to join me on Friday morning, 297 Rand, for a 90-minute training session to learn the 6-step simplified tool. So there it is, 297 Rand for standard, VIP 397. But I'm going to share that with you today after the session in an email. So think about, are you empowering your team through delegation? So what happens if you don't change the way you lead, you hire, you delegate? Well, if you don't change it, you're going to stay stuck, working with the wrong team and still focusing on exhaustion, burnout. What are they? Overworked, doing all the work yourself. So there's often so many mistakes we don't even realize we make as a leader. And ultimately, we don't want to think that we make mistakes. We want to think that we're really good, but we all make mistakes. But if I can help you overcome this in just a couple of easy sessions to bring attention to it, how different could your life look? So what about not understanding how to set goals and the purpose of a goal? Not understanding the difference between performance management and consequence management. Other mistakes, not understanding how to apply accountability in your business and with your team. Not communicating openly and building the trustworthy environment. There's a massive difference between the dictatorial manager and the one that just wants to be liked. A lot of managers don't understand how to motivate the employees. And they also don't realize that it's your role as a leader to create an environment where motivation shines through and not leading by example. There are so many mistakes we make as a leader. And even yet, you may look at this and go, I don't make any of these. What if you learn one thing that you could improve? So what keeps us stuck? Hiring under pressure. Need somebody, we stick that square peg in the round hole. Low-performing teams that drain your energy. Overwhelmed from doing it all yourself. Fear of confrontation. Leading without a clear system. Let me ask you, how many of you sometimes feel stuck just with what I'm sharing this evening? So most managers are losing productivity, often losing great team members and time every single day because we're stuck in these same habits. I want to ask you, can you afford to lose the next 3 months repeating this same thing? So again, the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. I want to share a story and this lovely, beautiful testimonial I got from Mariska. Vaughan, if you can just give me a thumbs up that you can hear, but she shared this with me, and this is somebody who took action and her life changed.
Hi, Nikki. I just wanted to let you know how much my life has changed since I joined one of your courses. So just over a year ago, I took a leap of faith and I joined one of your courses. And it was about a month in, and one of the directors noticed a change in me, and so much that they offered to pay for the rest of my course, which was amazing, such a blessing, something I never saw coming. And then following the course, I just followed your advice, stayed in touch, still seeing you on a regular basis, and now being part of the leadership mindset. It's changed me so much. It has empowered me to work better with my team, to be a better leader. And on top of that, I just got to share this with you. I have just recently got promoted to director. So yay, super excited for the future. And thank you to you.
I have to say, she says thank you to me. I say thank you to her, because she took those simplified tools and put them into application. So may I have permission? May I have permission to introduce myself and tell you, well, I have already introduced myself, tell you more about my powerful leadership transformation. Just let me know in the chat box. May I have more permission? Thank you for all those thumbs up. All right. May I have permission to share more information about the powerful leadership transformation course with you? Just let me know in the chat box. All right. Jenny says, yes, please. Thank you, Jenny. Renelle says, yes. Fabulous. Jenica says, yes. Cornell says, yes. Ben says, yes. Ernest says, yes. Mrs. says, yes. Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So my goal is to help empower managers to become effective leaders, so they can increase productivity, specifically by creating an environment whereby their team want to reach their full potential, which will automatically increase profitability without working harder, only smarter. So if you could take either 12 weeks, I have a live course where it's run over 12 weeks, 90 minutes per week, or working with me on the on-demand, pre-recorded, do it at your own time. But if you could take 12 weeks or 12 modules of clarity and structure, will it help you learning these tools to finally feel like you're in control? Just let me know. Could that help you feel like you're finally in control? I've taken my 31 years consolidated experience, plus hundreds of thousands of rand that I've invested in myself, and my bosses have invested in me to consistently learn. And yet I am still learning and reading and studying every single day. You heard Mariska talking about my mastermind. I have a leadership mastermind. It runs every second week, and we're constantly pushing ourselves to become better. So thinking, would having the right team member change the way you lead? Just think about that, right? And if you saw yourself in today's session, it's not a mistake. It's clarity. And clarity is what leads to change. So I want to introduce you to Nadia as well.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, and the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it has helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
And Nadia now is in a leadership position. She is actually working with a team, international team, and doing incredibly well as well. So I want to share that if you're worried about investing yourself and not showing up, I will hold you accountable. Something that I do is hold up that mirror for you. I want to see you becoming the best version of yourself. This course is not something you're going to do alone. I often say that I'm your coach in your pocket. I'm always there for you. Often my clients will contact me and just go, I need a bit of support, or what about this or this situation? My goal is to consistently keep working with you. My training style is exactly the same as this masterclass. This is me. This is who I am. I'm just plain old Nikki. And I love to help people become the best version of themselves. So the Powerful Leadership Transformation, PLT 12 is what I call it. It is all about 12 modules, simplified tools to help you grow from a manager into a leader. And the first session covers your big why. It's the introduction. We set up a 60-day challenge to create new habits. You learn the benefits of being an effective leader, the difference between a manager and a leader, primary responsibilities of a leader, and then pieces of a leadership puzzle. The second session focuses on your mindset. We do a lovely session on how to choose your attitude as well. And then we start looking at how to set goals, plus setting goals, thinking big. There's different kinds of goals, but we use the SMART goal analogy. And I like to work with people that are action takers and think big. I do not surround myself with anybody that puts a lid on my pot. When I say I go big, trust me, I go big. And that's what I'm going to do with you. Session number 3 is all about time mastery. How do we focus on that 80-20% principle, focusing on our success list, our top priorities, and putting it in that tool, the 411, that you can start using this and continue using that. Plus, helping yourself with time mastery and making time blocking. You'll learn how to gain you time-saving strategies and knowing the difference between important and urgent. Session number 4, we start the accountability process here. We are start teaching you all about accountability, even though we really tackled that deep in session number 12. I like to bring it in closer, so I will start holding you accountable weekly. We will then discuss 2 parts of more managers' most common mistakes, from communication and building a trustworthy environment, dictatorial aggressive management, criticism and negative discipline, for how do we motivate employees, and all of those that want to be liked. Each of these sessions jam-packed 90 minutes of value plus live Q&A. We also then continue more with the accountability process, and then we go to part 4, poor hiring decisions, not managing conflict, poor delegation, and not leading by example. Delegation and conflict then goes into a full 90-minute session, a little bit further into the course, because it's not just what to do, but the how to put it into action. Again, my poor hiring decisions, I cover quite a lot there, but there is a full recruiting talent course. We're also going to cover performance management and consequence management. Session number 6 is all about DISC training. This is a 2-hour training session whereby you get to understand your personality, how to use this tool, that you can use it for everybody you work with, when you're using it for recruitment, for training, for leading your team as well. But most importantly, how do you adapt your personality to get the best results from your team? Session number 7 is all about accountability. Touching on it, like I said, this is the 90-minute session I'm offering just on Friday. I actually have a group of people that I coach called the Go-Getters Business Mastermind. So it's one of their perks. So that's what I'm doing on Friday. Again, $297 for standard. Benefits of delegation, essential criteria to delegation, understanding what reverse delegation is and why it happens, and then our 6-step process to delegation. Session number 7, how do we handle conflict? So understanding different personalities with conflict, the dangers of ignoring conflict, the benefits of resolving conflict, and the 4-step process. Again, the how to apply it and putting it into action to gain the win-win. Session number 9 is about letting go of any of those limiting beliefs that's holding you back, so that you can be purposeful in your power. Session number 10, understanding different management styles and powers, from autocratic to participative, effective attributes of different leaders and different powers we can use. And how do we put this all into action to master our potential as a leader, following the 4 levels of competency? Session number 11, I give you 5 different ways of how to host team meetings, some exciting icebreakers to use to build team development as well. And then how do you identify your shining stars and keep the growth cycle happening in your team? Session number 12, all about inspiring accountability. There's a bonus session here of 10 commitments of accountability as well. And then key to leadership, focusing on direction, motivation, and inspiration. So this course will help you stop doubting your leadership and start owning your role as a confident, strategic team builder. I have trained this course for 14 years working with Woolworths, then going into real estate before launching my own business 5 years ago. And to date, I have trained hundreds of thousands of people, from CEOs to shipyards in Mallorca, to restaurant managers in the Caribbean, to accountants, IT, doctors, dentists, and so many different industries just in South Africa. Because the language of leadership is universal. So if I can help you grow from a manager into leader, that's going to help you lead a team to achieve a goal and increase productivity and profitability without working harder, only smarter. And if this money aside was free, who would want to work with me? Just let me know in the chat box. Money aside, if I could help you transform from a manager into a leader, who would want to work with me? Just let me know. Yay, Lorinda says me, Jenica says me, Jenny says me. All right, me, Masana, Natuka, Talent, Ernest, me too, me. Fabulous. I'm so glad to hear that. And I'd love to say it's for free, but this is my livelihood. This is my hundreds of thousands of rand I've invested, and that's not what I'm charging you. But I also believe in order to receive value, you've got to spend money, because there's such a fine line of getting something for free. And what can you do with these simplified tools? If I can help you become the best version of yourself, would it not be worth it? So I want to again go and have a look at what other people have said. Go and see what other people have said about who has worked with me. But I want to share this little story of Nonklankla happiness. Nonklankla phoned me September 2 years ago, and she said, Nikki, I really want to do your course. And I said, sure, just tell me a little bit about you. And she said, well, I'm a paramedic. I work in Durban as a paramedic for government. And I said, okay, so are you in a leadership position? She said, no, but I'm getting older and I don't always want to be a paramedic. I want to lead a team. So I said, perfect. Does your company know that you're doing this course? And she said, no, I'm investing in myself and I'm hoping they see the change. And I was like, well, I have many success stories I've shared with you already of how that's happened. Lonfankler signed up for this course. Last week, she sent me this.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub-district manager because of your course, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
I had tears in my eyes, and just absolutely beautiful for somebody that believed in herself, believed in her growth, And she was incredible. She did the live VIP training. She was absolutely incredible to work with. And that's the power of taking these simplified tools. It's not me, I'm just sharing them, but I'm going to help you apply it to make the difference in your life. So it's not for everyone, right? This course is not for managers who just want to delegate and walk away. This is for leaders who are ready to show up, ready to grow and lead with purpose. I hold up a mirror for you. I push your boundaries because I want you to be the best version of yourself. So program components, I have all the sessions. There are two options. One, on demand, everything's pre-recorded, do it at your own time. I then also have a VIP launch, which would be just like this, 90 minutes per week, live online. So you have the two choices. Some people like to do it at their own time, it's convenient for them. Other people want to be part of a cohort and do it live. If you're part of the online, there will be a live bi-monthly Q&A as well. Every session has a workbook, there's weekly assignments and a certificate of attendance. Also, again, you can do this fast, you can do this slow, but I can reassure you, the feedback that I've had within 2 to 3 weeks has been incredible. After session 4, I start seeing a massive difference myself. Going into session 5, your reverent power, which is your energy that introduces you before you even speak, profound. And that's simply in the confidence you've already gained. So my powerful leadership transformation, PLT 12, what it is. So I'm going to share the links with you as well. It's a course that transforms you into a manager and from a manager into a leader. As I've shared, I've also got recruiting talents, which can help you step up and recruit to your best potential as well. So today I am going to share with you, I've got the on-demand leadership. I've also got the on-demand recruiting talent. If you like both, I've got an amazing combo special. But again, I'm also offering my VIP. So the combo price, my powerful leadership transformation, there we go, and my recruiting talent combo. But let me just share with you, for action takers, I like people that are all in, ready to go. Action takers, if you sign up in the next 24 hours, even if you want to go speak to your boss first and get some permission, drop me an email, say, Nikki, I'm in. That action takers, I'm ready to do this. I just need to have that conversation. You'll get 3 months complimentary, which is part of my Go-Getters Business Mastermind. I do a 30-minute session every Tuesday morning with like-minded people that are focused on making a difference to their business. Then you'll also get 3 months access to my leadership mastermind, where we have amazing leaders who completed the course, always pushing ourselves to the next level as well. It's every second Monday. That's valued at 1.8. You will also then get access to bi-monthly coaching with myself. There'll be 2 sessions per week. It's valued at 1,800 Rand. You will also get invited to 3 complimentary training sessions, like I've just hosted handling challenging clients using a 6-step tool. And each of these sessions are valued at 1,997 Rand. I also have a couple of more sessions coming up. My next one's coming up about how to get AI to speak in your voice, your brand, to help you with content creation, and the one after that, negotiation skills like a ninja. So lots of other training sessions coming up. So this is everything you need that's going to help you lead and build a high-performing team in one powerful package. Let me ask you, how, just seeing what I share, how would it affect your life to have these simplified tools to help you recruit the right team, lead with authority? Do you think this could change your life just a little, or could it be life-changing? Let me know, just a little or life-changing? L or LC, life-changing? Let me know. All right, this will be life-changing. Thank you. I know the difference it's made into my life. And I know the difference it's made for every single one of my clients. So I'm not here just to try and make a sale. That is not who I am. I'm somebody that goes all in, somebody that works with you to become the best version of yourself. So I 100% know the work I do. I've seen the results. I am so confident that if you sign up for VIP, if you're not happy within the first 3 sessions, 100% money back guarantee. If you do the on-demand session, there's a clause within the first couple of weeks. I also have access to see that you haven't gone past the first 3 sessions as well for your money back guarantee. I've never had anyone do that because I know the value I add. So my powerful leadership transformation on demand, if you buy the once-off package, it's 997. That is my on-demand, straight immediate access, all those bonuses as well. My my recruiting talent on demand is 4,997 Rand. And if you want the combination deal, I'm going to share that with you in a minute. So the value of everything I'm sharing with you, from my Go-Getter Business Mastermind, to my Leadership Mastermind, to my bi-monthly coaching, to my Handling Challenging Clients, to 3 additional training sessions, to my 12 weeks on-demand powerful leadership transformation. Start tonight if you want. For my recruiting talent on demand, the total price comes up to, the value is 27,482 Rand. But I do have a combo special for the first 10 people only. You will save 15,485. And that is if you do the recruiting talent and powerful leadership transformation combo. So the combo 997 plus on demand for recruiting talent, that total price is normally 14,994. 20% off to take you down to 11,997. So these are the different deals that I have right here. What I do want to do is just ask you a couple of questions. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm launching a poll. Let me know, like, are you ready to take action? Are you ready to say yes for the combo deal? Or yes to leadership on demand only? Or yes, you want to join the live VIP, which launches on the 1st of July? Or you first want to suss my training style out a little bit more and do effective delegation on Friday? Or you have a team that may want to join. Maybe you want to chat with me first. Or, thank you, I've got everything I needed from this class. So the poll is open. Go ahead, let me know, where are you at? What are you thinking? Where are you at? And I would also, again, I will share these details with you for my delegating effectively. If the email doesn't come out this evening, it will come out first thing in the morning. If you didn't receive the email, please do go ahead and check your spam box as well, but the links will be there too. And then VIP starts. VIP launches on the 1st of July. It's Tuesday, 90 minutes from 3 until 4:30. That is on Tuesday from 3 until 4:30, and that is for 12 weeks. And the VIP program is 15,997 Rand. Or you can do a payment plan over 3 months of 5,750. So all the links will be shared with you, with all the different details for the different options that I've offered you this evening. But I would love to ask if there are any questions as well. I would love to answer any questions with any questions. Again, please go ahead and fill in the poll. Love to hear from you. If anybody wants to have a conversation, if you want to first discuss this, maybe discuss it with your boss first, please do reach out. In the chat box, you are welcome just to drop your cell phone number. I'm very happy to give you a call this evening, otherwise tomorrow morning. But my name's Nikki. I'm a public speaker strategist, a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire. I would love to help you find your confidence to overcome those mistakes so you can lead your team, creating the environment you and they deserve. learning my simplified tools without working harder, only smarter. So I'm going to leave the poll open for a minute. I'm also just actually going to take it back. If there are any questions, please, please, please feel free to reach out. A few of you said you wanted to chat to me first. In the chat box, please go ahead, drop your cell phone number. Very happy to give you a call tomorrow. Otherwise, drop me an email and just say, Nikki, I'm in. I just need to speak to my boss or whoever you need to speak to who needs to make those decisions. But I can tell you, for your investment, it is, I don't know how many people have said to me, Nikki, you're way underpriced for the value you give. I like to make a difference, and I really, really appreciate you. I want to thank you for being here this evening. I'm going to drop the link for the combo. I see a couple of people said yes to the combo as well. Wonderful. Please, if you have any questions, I did see some amazing questions in the chat box earlier. If anybody would like to ask those questions now, please do feel free. You can raise your digital hand or type it in the chat box. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing to spend your Tuesday evening with me. I am going to be around for a little bit. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. I see quite a few questions coming in here. Please also make sure I've got all your email addresses so that I can tag you correctly as well. And I am super, super excited. Thank you, Janine. Lovely having you here. Super excited to be working with quite a few of you really soon. I say yes to the combo. I say yes to Leadership on Demand. Yes to effective delegation. Fantastic. First one to chat to Nikki. Those of you that got everything you needed from this course. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Jenny. I'm excited to work with you too. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. I know we're going to have fun. You're going to learn. We're going to grow. And I'm really excited to work with you too. Fabulous. Thank you. Make sure I've got your email addresses. Anybody wants me to give them a call this evening or tomorrow morning, drop your cell phone number in the chat box privately and let me know. AM, PM, I'll give you a call. I've got gap tomorrow morning before my public speaking course starts at 9:30. Please go ahead and reach out. For everyone else, thank you that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Really appreciate you. I'm actually just going to flip the slide back to this one. There we go. As well, thank you for those also still dropping in your details in the chat box. Very excited for those of you that are ready to take action, dive straight in. Appreciate all of you. I am going to switch off my camera and my volume, but I will be here. If anybody wants to chat, go ahead in the chat box, let me know. If you want to go into a breakout room or you want me to give you a call. I want to thank you very much for being here this evening. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Good night.